Well, hello again, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the GPWS.
Talk tick, talk tick, talk tick.
Well, now it's almost 12 o'clock and I'm here in the studio. Should I stay or go back home? I don't know what to do. One thing that I know for sure, that girl and I are through. Still hearing tick-tock, tick, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick, tick-tock, tick.
Talk tick, talk tick, talk tick.
Today we're going to be disassembling our Westclox Charmer movement, which is literally just the Baby Ben Style 7. Okay, so we got our dial and hands off. That was kind of a fiasco. But now we can get our movement out of the case. So let's just undo these screws. No stupid press out tabs or whatever. Just straightforward screws and washers. That's how I like it. And that washer, sometimes usually these washers will be stuck to the grommets. That doesn't matter. You might as well just leave them on. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Look at the blued steel on that piece of fabric that's riveted on there. Look at those blue steel rivets. Wow. Westclox in this era was still doing blued steel bits and pieces quite frequently, actually. More than you might think. And this is also the pressed on knob era as well, where things are a little bit more of a pain to deal with. And where in the heck? Okay, are we gonna move out of here? Speaking of pains to deal with, I think we're gonna have to take this rubber. Oh, jeepers. Go figure. Okay. How are we going to do this here? Is this just gonna come through or no? Oh, that just popped off. Okay. That's part of the motion work right there. How are we gonna do this? Oh, there goes a washer. Yeah, if this rubber breaks and cracks, then it's really not the end of the world. That's just kind of what happens. I think a grommet actually went shooting out of here. Or maybe not. Oh, another washer just jumped ship. Put that in there. And let's keep going here. And this screw here, this is for the regulator. This you don't have to undo. So leave that one alone. Come on. Yeah, you know what? I might have to get these off. Oh, maybe I can... yeah, I don't like my chain. Oh, wait, no. I guess I can just do that, too. What the heck is getting stuck, though? Something's stuck in here. Maybe it's this. Oh, okay. Oh, something just popped out. What the heck just fell? I think it was these washers here. Maybe you do have to remove them. I'm not sure. But anyway, there they are. They all came off, so that doesn't really matter there. What the heck is holding on, though? Is it the hammer? Maybe, oh, no, it's the grommets. Oh, it's these rubber grommets. Oh, jeepers. I didn't want to have to deal with these. Okay, yeah, these should actually be taken off their respective arbors that they're on, or if they don't rip. That is, if they don't rip on you. Yeah, that's the thing. These kind of have to go back in where they belong. Oh boy, this movement. Oh, thankfully you can... Oh, okay, they're on the pillar nuts. I've just seen that, so we can just worry about these later. Thank goodness. I thought these were attached to the movement in a more significant way. I didn't realize these were just on the nuts. And of course, since this movement is from when exactly? Okay, I actually have no idea what the date code is for this. I'm just trying to look around. Usually it's like over in this area somewhere. Oh, there's an 11. I think is that all they're gonna give us? Just 11? 11 what? Just 11. Well, that doesn't really help us much now, does it? Anyway, we'll look at that more later. It looks like someone's been in here. Look at all the fingerprints all over this. And this isn't like Gregola fingerprints. I think that someone was using some kind of weird oil or something in this thing. Look at that. They usually don't come out looking like that. And I know when I reassemble movements, they're not absolutely covered in them. Okay, that's not optimal. However, it shouldn't do any damage to the functionality of this clock here. And notice all the blued steel, hey? Isn't that nice? That's really good looking. It looks black from there. Maybe you'll see it better like this. Well, Greg, this movement is kind of somewhat interesting to look at. Let's get it apart though. So where should we go first? Well, I think we should take off our balance wheel and hairspring, because this area can get damaged all too easily, and I don't want that to happen. Yeah, our movement here is still trying to run, which is interesting. I mean, it's wound all the way down. Okay, oh, there goes our taper pin. And we're still trying to run, even still. Okay, I better start a new container. Yeah, we're still trying to run even without a taper pin. Okay, let's back our balance wheel up. Pop the hairspring out of there. Hopefully it comes out of the regulator too. Is it? Yeah, I think it came out of there. Good. Very, very good. That's nothing wrong with that. One thing that's kind of a pain to deal with is the tail on the regulator. I don't know if you can see that. That tail there. Yeah, that thing's kind of a nuisance. That's kind of more in our way than anything else. So, we're just going to move it to that side there. And take their balance wheel out. And also, you can see why. I mean, looking at all the old gummed up oil, I mean, that right there, that's ready for a service, you know. I mean, the clock was running with really decent motion before we dismantled it, but, well, obviously it wasn't wound, but still, you know, it was running, like, good. But to prevent any problems from happening in the future, you got to deal with this stuff in the present. And I know there's the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, that doesn't mean that you just leave something for 150 years and don't service it. I know this isn't 150 years old, but still. Okay. I'll just unscrew that. Oh, maybe we should. You know what I should do? Not do that. That's kind of dunderheaded of me, actually. Here we go. We got our balance wheel. And we can just unscrew our balance cup. I might grab, I don't know. I'll get the deeper the grip on the wheel, the better results you get. I'm just gonna try and, I don't want to bend this. Might need a little bigger tweezers. Oh, okay. I guess we'll just, it kind of fell in there. I guess we'll just angle it around here like this. Or maybe not. Or, oh. Key is to not get it hung up on anything, because then you'll just pull it and completely deform it. And I am losing my grip on the balance wheel. Great. Okay, we'll make it, angle it around here. Good old balance wheel hairspring removal, eh? Oh boy. Sometimes more graceful than other times. That tail is really screwing us, though. That's not helping at all. I don't know, once again, I don't know why Westclox bothered to have that. But anyway, they thought it was necessary for some unknown reason. Okay. It's really in there. Okay, I've actually put it back in. I've just, you know, put the screw back in because it keeps bumping into the, I believe this is the alarm. Wait, no, this is the time side. This is the time spring right here. If we've learned anything from the Baby Ben Style 5 series, this is our time spring, that's our alarm. It keeps running, like I try to, you know, move the wheel back and get it out this way or something like that. It's banging into this. So we need to get that out of there ASAP. Our first step, if you haven't already, is to let our spring down. And that you can just move, put a screwdriver here, push the click, little tail on the click here, push that up, and then just let it out. If that makes any sense. I'll do it again here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, I think this has 3 screws that hold it into place here. You can only imagine the last time this was opened, if ever. I don't know, that might be Westclox doing with all those fingerprints. How do I prevent getting fingerprints like that on my clocks, Greg? Well, first of all, don't use whatever oil they're using. I don't know what the heck that stuff is, because I know I do this barehanded, and I can still get this done without a whole bunch of problems. And number 2 is I suggest finger cots. I might actually get some of those. Once again, really nice blued steel spring barrel bridges here. And we should just be able to pull this up. And this has the same sort of alarm hammer design here as well. We got the same thing going. I think that might actually be the same hammer. And is this screwed in here? I don't think so. I'm just checking with the pillar nut here. I don't think we're in that. No, we can just pull this out. Okay. And see right off the bat when that's gone, and this now blued steel hammer, wow, that's nice. When this is gone and that's gone, then you can, well, I mean, it takes a massive chunk out of this movement. Suddenly the whole thing looks far less complex than it was before. We can actually take this out now. Well, no, I'll wait. And since both keys are male on this movement, whoops, if I just actually get it in the right way. Come on. And I see one of our grommets is trying to leave the room. We don't want that, because then it won't work right. The alarm will not operate correctly. And that's just a mess and a half to deal with. So anyway, push this out. And don't stab yourself with your screwdriver. Push that out. This is already unwound. So we'll just take that out. And the spring can come down pretty fast. Whoops. The spring can come down really quite fast. And just do it little bits at a time. I know I don't have a good example of this to show you on camera here. That'll have to be in another series. Which is kind of a little bit upsetting. Come on. And of course they put this right next to the knob. Oh boy. Now I gotta get in here like that. Okay, good. Whew. Good thing that isn't too tight. Because that knob is blocking my screwdriver partially. And if I can't get that out, then we're not getting the clock apart. And there we go. And this should just come out of here as well. See, suddenly the whole thing looks way less complicated, doesn't it? It's amazing what the spring barrels do to the look of this thing. And now, with our spring barrel out, whoops, this is really tight. Come on. And now with our spring barrel out of the way, oh shoot. The good old balance wheel decided to take a trip. With that out of the way, we can just put it through the back here. We can just get it through here. This isn't the most orthodox way of removing a balance wheel and hairspring, but it works. There's our pivots there. Looking good. Now what most people would do is they probably just throw this whole piece in a can of gas and call her a day. Well, we're not doing that because that's not really a service, is it? That's just kind of a half-baked kind of make it up as you go type thing. Now, we've got, okay, now we can go about this multiple ways. And we've got to get these knobs off. Or do we? More details in a second. Generally, to get these plates apart, you know, one would just pull these knobs off. Well, these are super tight on there. And just pulling them off with a pair of pliers will just damage them more than anything else. So don't even waste your time with that unless they're like really loose. This one here is interesting because this is the alarm tripping mechanism here. Now either you can pull this gear off and leave this assembly together, and then the plates will still come apart that way. And also you have to get this off no matter what, so sorry. But anyway, yeah, this is the more tricky one to deal with, I think. But anyway, since our spring barrels are out of the way, we've got room to play around with this stuff. Now I'm going to try and get my pliers in there and get a nice pair of needle nose pliers. And actually, I'm not going to use those because these have these goofy edges on them. I should start some kind of Patreon thing or whatever to get Greg another pair of, or a better pair of lineman's pliers. No, I'm just getting around. This is my other pair of lineman's pliers, the ones with no ridiculous edges on them. So anyway, the idea is just to kind of slide your other pliers in here and pop the knob, and I'm going to hammer this in here, just to pop this knob off so it pushes it up. So we'll get our hammer in off camera here, and we'll just do that a few times. And we'll see if it actually moves at all or loosens up or whatever. Probably won't the first couple of tries to do it. Let's get our pliers back in there again. And give it another go. Come on. And since these are tapered, right, you can, they go up more, or they're like a ramp almost, sort of. Okay. My screwdriver just fell in between the tables here. You can hear all sorts of banging and clanging in here. All kinds of fun stuff. After trying numerous times with the pliers and finding it didn't work, I went with tapered tweezers, and this ended up happening. And there it's off. And as for getting our alarm knob off, I mean, there is a way to get it off. I did it once before, but I can't really remember how in the heck I did it. And as for getting the alarm knob off, as you can see, it's got the spring in there, then a washer, and then the knob itself. And this is all just pressed on. There is a way to take this off, and I believe I did it before. I know Pin Palette 20 has done it before. But there's also another way there's another way to go about this, and that's going from the dial side. I took a couple of flat blade screwdrivers, and I ended up doing this off camera because I wanted to test and make sure and see if it would actually work, and it does. I just took a couple of flat blades and popped this wheel here off, and also this is the same on the Style 8s here as well. See this section here in the middle? If that pops out of the wheel, like if this ends up breaking off, because, well, I mean, you can put it back in, but anyway, if it ends up breaking off, okay, you can actually pop that back in there, and this is the alarm finger here. This is the tripping finger here. If it's stuck on this arbor, you can just take a pair of tweezers here and just hammer them through, just like I did with this knob here. So anyway, with this off, I can leave this all together here and just take the front plate off and just call it a day, because you can see there's no obstructions there. That arbor there on the end is just, you know, it's just round, so there's nothing stopping it. So this whole knob assembly here stays with the back plate, and that'll be okay the way it is. So yeah, you can kind of go about that either way. And as I said, if this wheel breaks, it just basically pops back. Well, not even breaks isn't even the right word. If this wheel comes apart, you can just pop it back together again, and you should be fine. So anyway, now that we got our stuff off, well, we didn't get this off, but we can take the movement apart anyway. Now that we got this wheel off here, away we go, pretty much. We can disassemble this now. We'll obviously take this wheel here off, our little ramp wheel. I don't know what to call that. I don't know, it's like a ramp. And then we've got a piece of the motion work that's... Oh, maybe this doesn't come off. Okay. Oh, no, it does. Yeah, we got this piece of the motion work that comes off. Clean all this stuff up, of course. Then there's this here, which I don't know if that's going to just pop off here or what. This might not even... Oh, I can just take it off. Okay. I guess this just... I'll just try and put that back on here for a second. There's notches right in this, the alarm on and off Oh, and that just popped right out. Pfft. Oh man, the whole thing is coming apart here. Yeah, there's notches here, which you can just push this in, I'm pretty sure. This spring here. Yes, I believe that is how you can do... Yeah, wow, that's actually a really decent design. Not bad. Okay. So yeah, this just comes right off. The alarm tension spring here. This knob you can pull out, I guess. Huh. Is it bent like that because I bent it, or is it bent because it's bent? I have no idea. Anyways, this looks relatively clean. We're going to throw it in there and clean it up anyway. And now, we can undo the plates. Okay, there we go. We had to really pop that. And now we can just take that off. And by the way, if you're wondering where the grommet went for this, it's still in there. So we're just going to leave that in there. I don't see a point in removing that. Put that there. These grommets here, I don't know, we're going to have to work around them. I don't want to take them off. And let me see here. Can I get this off like that? Oh, that's not it. Yeah, this makes things more complicated to deal with. Of course, when this was new, you could just pop them on, pop them off, no problem. And you got to find a nice solid spot on the nut. Whoops, and go from there. Jeepers. Come on. Okay, might have to take our grommets here off a little bit because I don't know how this is. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. There's another one off. Yeah, I hope we don't screw this up here. I'd hate to do that. Because these grommets, as you know, are very important to the functionality of the alarm. If they're gone, I'm not really sure what a guy's supposed to do, and I don't want to rip this grommet. Just pull it off, I guess, like that. Oh, okay, well, that just ripped in half. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes together. Again, see what goes on here. Oh, come on. Yeah, these things are melted to the arbors here. These things are melted to these screw or these nuts here. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, and this is why I'm wary about pulling on these things, because they just melted on. Oh boy. But of course I need to grip something. I'm gonna get this apart. Okay, yeah, that just ripped. I sure hope it goes back together okay with that alarm mechanism. Come on. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, this is a harder one to get apart here. Simply because of that. I guess you could try and reconstruct the grommets a little bit. Try and match up where things are missing. Yeah, that's gonna be anxious though. I'm kind of anxious about that alarm though. I hope we can get this to... Oh man. Yeah, I'm just scratching things by doing that. Okay, we did get this going here eventually. Yeah, I think a nut driver would be better for this. You don't say, Greg. Yeah, use a nut driver if you have one the right size. Okay, now we can just pull this apart. Or not. What's blocking us here? Oh, maybe. Here, let's pull this out. Yeah, I thought this... I was positive here, this just pulled right on out, but I could be wrong. Oh, great. Oh, no. Oh, no, viewers. Okay, everything just kind of popped apart on me there. This is still okay. It's just a little more, Well, it's a little bit more annoying to deal with, but it's still doable like that. Yeah, you just had to kind of rock it around a little bit. I don't know, something was rubbing up against something else and it didn't want to come apart. Anyway, so here's our movement. And got our alarm escape wheel here. Our third wheel, I believe. Escape wheel. And our pallet fork. Very good. And we got our fourth wheel in here, which we can just take this out. More rocking like this, of course. Oh. Come on. There we are. More stuff like that, and we have our movement apart. And this just has an 11 stamped on it. There's nothing else. And it's Westclox, Peterborough, Canada. Peterborough, Canada. Why did I have such a hard time saying that? Anyway, there's a pivot hole drilled right through there. Interesting placement for that, but anyway. So yeah, that is our movement apart. Wasn't exactly the smoothest disassembly I've ever seen, especially those pillar nuts. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get something that works a little better for that, because I don't like scratching this up here and destroying grommets. Although I think we're probably okay with those. I think we can salvage them. Actually, looking at these grommets, it's more the main thing that these get screwed in properly, I would think. Now, come to think of it, yeah, I think we'll be okay with that, the way that turned out. Gee, viewers, this Charmer series, I mean, I'm kind of not necessarily screwing things up, but making a bit of a mess of things, depending on what it is. Oh, dear. Well, at least nothing's broken. And as for that minute hand on part 1, we can repaint that hopefully at some point. And honestly, I'm debating poking the other paint out of the hour hand just for symmetry's sake. Because if I'm going to repaint one, I'm going to do them both. So you might as well do that. But I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys in the comments there. And you know, I've just been hunting around in my supply here of tools, and I found this little Craftsman wrench. This is 3x16, and if we just line it up to one of these pillar nuts here, I put this back on. You can see that just this bottom part is just a little bit too small for it, as you can see. So if some material were to be filed off, this could probably work really well with these little nuts, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to modify this little wrench here to specifically for these nuts here. Sometimes the best tools are the ones you can make yourself. And it should also work on the grommet versions here as well, because if it's reaching under the grommet, that's what's left of a grommet there. If it's reaching under there, it should be able to get it. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to make that a tool here, because I don't want to scratch any more of these. Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to, you know, do that to this little wrench, because it wasn't really doing much for me anyway, just sitting around. So I think it'd be far more useful as a modified wrench. So anyway, viewers, yeah, that is the Westclox Charmer Part 2, I think, Part 3 or whatever, I don't even know. It depends how I'm going to divide this up. So anyways, guys, I thank you for stopping by and seeing this episode of the GPWS, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it. And hopefully with your Style 7s or Charmers or Benitas, you don't scratch any of the pillar nuts.